Hello, my name's Samuel Pacheco, and my presentation is on Cameron Fry from Ferris Bueller's Day Off by John Hughes. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a 1986 film centered around Ferris Bueller, an 18-year-old senior who masterfully pulls off a plan to ditch school and explore downtown Chicago with his best friend Cameron Fry and his girlfriend Sloane Peterson. Though this is the main plot of the story, a huge amount of time is spent fleshing out friend Cameron's domestic subplot. In this subplot, we learn that Cameron's parents hate each other and neither give him enough attention. I would classify his home life as toxic or even abusive, given how much fear, anxiety, and anger Cameron is shown to withhold. Throughout the course of the film, Cameron slowly becomes less anxious, releases his pent-up anger, and stops living in fear of his father and his household. This film is aimed at teenagers. It romanticizes teenage mischief and risk-taking. So Cameron Fry is an 18-year-old senior as well. He's Ferris Bueller's best friend. On the day that Ferris pretends to be sick, Cameron actually is sick at home in bed. He believes that he hates his parents and that they hate each other. He's an only child. Ferris once says to the audience, "He's the only guy I know that feels better when he's sick," in regards to Cameron. He's hesitantly convinced by Ferris to give him a ride to pick up Ferris's girlfriend from school, then to impersonate Sloane's father to the dean of the school, and finally to take his father's most prized possession, his 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California. Cameron shows symptoms of depression, anxiety, and anger issues. The element of psychosocial development that I chose was identity. Cameron's true self is hidden to everyone throughout the movie. He's constantly negative, nervous, and weary of the future. Ferris's narration states both of their worries about growing up, going to separate colleges, and etc. The two contexts that I chose were family and peers. Starting with family, Cameron's family is a mess, as previously stated. His parents' marriage is a sham. His father is extremely materialistic and hostile toward Cameron. He also doesn't trust Cameron, noting the exact number of miles on his car that he doesn't want Cameron driving. Secondly, peers. Cameron is the best friend to the most well-known person in the entire school, maybe even the entire city. This, of course, puts him at a great advantage, taking part in the pleasures of life created by Ferris, and Ferris using his power to help Cameron overcome his fears. The identity development of Cameron. Throughout the film, a major point of anxiety for Cameron is the safety of his father's 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California, which is a 1958 model in the script. This anxiety comes from fear that his father will punish him for even using his car. Nearing the end of the movie, Ferris tries to roll back the miles in the car by running the car in reverse while the back wheels sit on pegs. After realizing that this wouldn't work, and that his father will find out about them using it, Cameron finally lets go of all his frustration, kicking and breaking the front fender and headlights. This then pushes the car off of the pegs, and it runs at full speed backwards out of the garage, plummeting into a gorge behind it. Cameron tells Ferris that he's going to take the blame, and that he is tired of being afraid of his father, finally establishing his sense of self. I have two quotations here from the script, which are slightly different in the movie, but they establish the exact same situation. 1958 Ferrari 250 GTS California. Less than 100 were made. It has a market value of $265,000. My father spent 3 years restoring it. It is his joy. It is his love. It is his passion. It is his fault that he didn't lock the garage. Ferris, my father loves this car more than life itself. We can't take it out. And another quote. Cameron, one quick question. Why'd you do that? Cameron holds his proud posture for a beat. Then a look of bewilderment comes over his face. He shoots a look to Ferris, a puzzled look. You trashed the car. Cameron looks across the street. Why? I took a stand. No, Cameron, you wrecked a car. Cameron thinks for a moment. Then he regains his confidence. It's okay. And another quote I have from Steinberg: "As individuals mature intellectually and undergo the sorts of cognitive changes as characteristics of adolescence, they come to conceive of themselves in more sophisticated and more differentiated ways." For the context of family. Cameron's parents constantly fight and do not show him enough care. He exhibits actual physical symptoms of sickness as well, which imply his depressed state. He also shows a great amount of fear and anxiety over decisions which might have an impact on his parents. He is an only child, so he does not have any reliable siblings to count on, leaving him alone and recluse. At his lowest point in the film, Cameron slowly falls from a diving board into a pool, letting himself sink without care. This reclusivity is only solved by the main character, Ferris. By the end of the film, Cameron vows to stand up to the household that makes him anxious and depressed. Continuing on the aspect of family, I'd like to share this quotation from the script. So you can't get married today? Tomorrow? If you get a blood test today, I'm not getting married. I'm with you, babe. Why not? What do you mean, why not? Think about it. Besides being too young, and your father hating my guts, and not having any place to live, and feeling awkward about being the only cheerleader with a husband, give me a good reason why not. I'll give you two. My mother and my father. Ferris and Sloane look at him curiously. They're married, and they hate each other. You've seen them, am I right? Your father's a toad, and your mom's always wired out. But so what? They're old. That's natural. It makes me puke, seeing people treat each other like that. It's like the car. He loves the car. He hates his wife. My parents are divorced. So what? It's not like it doesn't happen 10,000 times a day. Just because it doesn't happen doesn't make it right. Are you comfortable with it? No, it's not something I can get comfortable with. I've tried. Are yours divorced? They may as well be. Do you think they're staying together because of you? Cameron hasn't seen it that way. He shrugs. Do they like you? It hasn't occurred to Cameron that his parents might not like him, that parental love might not be a given. Finally, the context of peers. Though Cameron benefits from being the best friend to the most popular person in school, Cameron's personal struggles extend past the realm of school. Cameron is, in effect, saved by the efforts of Ferris to have a day off. This peer relationship allows him to take responsibility and action for himself, even when a scapegoat is offered to him. Steinberg puts forth that when victimized people have trusted friends, they are more likely to not fall into a cycle of diminishing self-esteem. Cameron exemplifies this exact idea in being saved by his friend Ferris. Cameron's main issue in the film are his depression, anxiety, and physical symptoms that come about as a result of his extremely toxic household. After letting go of some of his inhibitions during the course of the day, he is ready to fight back against his father, who does not love his family as much as his material possessions. Because of his healthy relationship with Ferris Bueller and Sloane Peterson, Cameron has been freed of the weight that his family has put on him. Finally, is Cameron a typical adolescent? No, I do not believe that Cameron is a typical adolescent. His family is extremely dysfunctional, and because of it, he is depressed and anxious. When abandoned by his only family, of course he would develop these adverse effects. And finally, my source slides. Thank you.